I'm running for United States Senate against Tom Tillis. And let me just say, it is good to be back here in Orange County. I spent some time in Orange County, about 5 years here, trying to get out of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And one of the very few graduates ever to come out more conservative than having gone in, proving there is a God and it can happen. And by the way, I noted, I can't tell you how exhilarating it is to be in Orange County in the midst of patriotic conservatives, red-blooded Americans, America first, patriots first. And that gun raffle back there, that really gives me the goosebumps. I think we should take that gun raffle to Durham County and move it down to the corner of Franklin Street and Henderson Street and Chapel Hill. And we ought to have one right there under He's Not Here and just bug the hell out of the liberals and watch their heads explode. So I'm going to pull my credit card out. I spent about $1,000 in the last gun raffle. Didn't quite get that AR-15. All right, listen, does anybody, today is April 12th. Anybody know what 1 week from today, April 19th is? The significance of that in the history of our nation?
Revolution.
Well, that too. How many Marines we got in here?
Paul Revere's rise.
There you go, Marine. Listen, the 80th anniversary of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Marines storming the beaches at Iwo Jima. These men and women are national treasures, and we can't forget them. They went in there, and it took like 90 days. I got a book written called The Last Fighter Pilot. You should read it. I've written a couple of books. Check my resume about the final combat mission flown from Iwo Jima. But those guys took them 90 days to root the Japanese out, and they knew that was a great victory for America. It was a great victory, but the war was not yet won. Listen now, the same is true for the great victory that Donald Trump achieved in November. In fact, I believe that the election of Donald Trump probably saved this nation from the hands of tyranny. Okay? Go right ahead. Can you imagine had Kamala weaseled her way into the White House and stole the election like they stole the election in 2020? I was working on several national legal teams, including with Sidney Powell. I know what happened. Don't let anybody bamboozle you into believing that you're a denier. They stole it flat out. But can you imagine if they stole it again? Hey, they were prosecuting not only the president unconstitutionally, but they were prosecuting average Americans too. Remember the name Douglas Mackey? Douglas Mackey was a cartoonist who did a cartoon about Hillary in 2016, and the Democrats prosecuted him just as soon as they came into office. Anybody remember Patricia McCloskey and Mark McCloskey? These were the gun owners in St. Louis who just held a gun in front of their house. The Democrats prosecuted them. There's Mark Houck, and there's Paul Vaughn and others. These are pro-life fathers who were simply praying against abortion. And after the Supreme Court reversed Roe in the Dobbs case, the Obama administration, there's no difference. The Biden administration went after him. We came close. Our nation is still on the line. And the fundamental question coming into this 2026 election is this. Are we going to save our country, or are we not going to save our country? North Carolina has an opportunity to send a clarion call in this election. And so, listen, here's the thing. Whoever we send to the United States Senate will have 2 years with Donald Trump. If we don't win, if we don't hold serve, they are going to impeach him. But our next senator will have 2 years with Donald Trump and 4 years beyond that. And the question is, are we going to send an America First, red-blooded American senator walking the footsteps of Jesse Helms to Washington, D.C., who will stand with the greatest president of our lifetime, or are we going to send somebody who continues to stab him in the back at every nook, corner, and cranny? And that's the first fundamental question. Second thing we've got to understand, if Doe just showed us any one thing, it's this, that it's a deep state of the United States government is a criminal enterprise. It's a racketeering enterprise. Look at what they've done. They've exposed all kinds of crap. You know, gay phone apps they're spending. They're sending money to the Palestinians, to the Taliban. They're all the same. The Taliban, the Palestinians, to Hamas for condoms. But the one that makes me the angriest is FEMA, which is supposed to be helping our citizens in Western North Carolina. Here's what they do. They spend millions of dollars to put up illegal aliens in Manhattan while our fellow veterans are dying out in the streets, and that's a national disgrace. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot go status quo. We have got to wage the war against the deep state, the administrative agencies of the federal government. We've got to take them out. It's not a matter of cutting or freezing spending 10 to 15%. We need a Deep State Reduction Act to in fact, cut 2/3 of all non-military personnel in the United States government, and to cut 2/3 of the agencies. We need to slim our government down to what the Constitution meant for it to be, slim down under Article 1, Section 8, and get rid of all the rest of them. And finally, you ask, how is it that we got to this point, that they are spending millions of dollars on illegals and letting our veterans die. In 1913, the Congress made one of the greatest mistakes in history, passing of the individual income tax law. I will wage war not only against the Department of Education, but also against the Internal Revenue Service. It must be abolished. Our income tax system must end. We need to go to something like Governor Huckabee has advocated, a fair tax. We need to end it all, and we need to restore freedom back to this nation. We can send a strong message with this election. North Carolina will have the shot. I'm asking your support. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.